Hey guys, today we are going over Westerly number 2 in Etobicoke, a project that I believe is going to be one of, if not the best value pre-construction launches of this year. So I'm doing this video a little early, okay? Launch is end of October on this project. We are up here at Brochure and Islington, just north on Cordova. So here you have Westerly number 1 and Westerly number 2. And I'm doing this before I have brochures, draft floor plans, draft prices. I'm going to share with you where I think prices are coming and why they are such a good deal. So let's get into this. We are just north of the Islington subway station, right? So that's the big draw for the project. Is transit is obviously perfect. You're 400 meters away, a 5-minute walk away from the subway station. Westerly number 1 launched mid-COVID. It was a Tridel building as well, did incredibly well, launched at a really good price. And then Westerly 2 was actually initially going to be a rental building. So it's 335 units, over 27 stories. Over 200 of those units are 1-bedrooms, which is awesome to see as an investor. Going to be a ton of 1-bedrooms, so a lot of affordable options in this building. Directly across the street, give you some context on the area first. So directly across the street, Minto has a site that's going to come sometime down the line. And then, of course, right here on Maybell, you have Islington Terrace, which is a Tridel building as well. Sometime down the line, you're going to get 25 Maybells going to launch. And Etobicoke as a whole, especially along Kipling and Islington Station, is just seeing a ton of redevelopment. So you have the Etobicoke Civic Center coming down the line. And then we get into, the KIP district over here and the massive site by Pinnacle. So the Pinnacle Etobicoke site near Kipling Station. Then you have the Cloverdale Mall redevelopment, which will come sometime down the line. The Valhalla site on the East Mall. And then, of course, along the Queensway, we have tons of redevelopment coming. And the Queensway product is launching at $1,150, $1,200 a square foot these days. And I believe Westerly is actually going to come in underneath that. You also have plans in the works for Sherway. So Sherway might go the way of Square One. You're starting to see, condo applications submitted for Sherway redevelopment. You have, of course, the Mimico Go Station redevelopment. And then sometime in the future, you will have the Mr. Christie site. So, 7,000 condo units and a Go Station at Park Lawn and Lakeshore. So there's just a ton of redevelopment coming to Etobicoke. This is by no means the first of condos, but there are tons coming. And as you know, pre-construction prices tend to only head one way. So projects always launch more expensive than the last guy. So let's get into some specifics on these units. So everything I'm going to show you is actually from the brochure of Westerly number 1. Normally I like to do these videos once I have full information, but in the case of Westerly launching, Westerly 2 launching at the end of this month, the prices are going to come in at a price point where you're really going to want to have your worksheet in super early for this project. So I think it's going to be one of those overnight sellouts. Quick disclaimer here, we represent our clients. I do not speak for the developer. Obviously, I do not represent Tridel. Everything I'm saying here is based on my speculation. Obviously, prices and plans aren't finalized yet, so they could come in different than what I'm saying. And all of the stuff I'm showing you is marketing material based on the first project and publicly available city planning documents, okay? Now, with that said, I tell people all the time, you want to invest in safe developers. Tridel doesn't need an introduction here. They're one of the largest and most reputable developers in our city. We bring a ton of clients to Tridel product. We sold a bunch of units at Westerly 1. It was incredible value. It was mid-COVID, so a lot of people didn't have the stomach to purchase during the middle of COVID, but the ones who did are going to do incredibly well. It was a really good deal. DuPont, Tridel launched recently at DuPont in Islington, brought a bunch of clients there as well. I love working with Tridel. We've delivered a bunch of Tridel units and our clients never seem to have any complaints. This is Westerly from Westerly 1 and 2. Looking from the golf club. So here's Westerly 1 at 20 stories, and here's Westerly 2 at 27 stories. Not a lot of balcony space on either building. And the big draw here is you are just a 5 or 6 minute walk away from the Islington subway station. So obviously you can see here, we are just up on Cordova and subways right down on Brochure and Islington. And you don't have to loop around. You can just, there's a walkway that's been built from Islington Terrace down to Islington Street, so you can get to the subway that way. looking at about a 5 or 6 minute walk to the subway. This is a rendering from Westerly number 1, but fit and finish and amenities will be very similar from Westerly 1 to Westerly 2, I'm assuming. Tridal has this stuff down to a science. They're not going to, deviate from the plan for this one. You have some of the amenities here, and you have the fitness studio. If we look at the architectural plans submitted to the city for Westerly number 2, you can see that on the ground level, you have your bicycle storage, you have your residential lobby, 4 elevators, and then you have 2-story height of amenities on the north side of the building with a seating and terrace area and a kids play outdoor play area out back. So this is probably where you'll see your gym and maybe the party room, but it also looks like you have some rooftop amenities. So if the plans stay the same, it looks like there's a rooftop lounge or party room here with an outdoor amenity as well. So that'll be nice because you'll be overlooking the golf course. Like I said, finishes will probably be very similar to Westerly 1. So here's the standard finishes in Westerly 1. And here is the bathroom as well. Now, before I get into this, let's talk about resale values in the neighborhood. So these buildings right here recently completed Islington Terrace. So we'll take a look at that first. It is a Tridal building right on the subway, so similar in every way. This is a 530 square foot one and den that just sold for $525,000 with a parking space. So this one's just shy of $1,000 a square foot on the resale market. And the finishes will also give you, the little bit older, but you get the idea. Similar finishes. Now, if we head down to Kipling Station, you have a recently completed building. We'll just pivot around here. There we go. Kip District here. Okay, near Kipling subway station. So here's a 501 square foot unit without parking that just sold for $480,500. So $960 a square foot. 8.5 foot popcorn ceilings instead of smooth ceilings. So, and then the fit and finish isn't quite as nice as Tridal, but still a nice product, fairly new. So it gives you an idea here. Also near Kipling Station, we have a couple of older buildings that are Tridal as well. So here you have 15 Viking. This is a Tridal build. I believe we are, 7, 8 years old? 9 years old. So coming up on 10 years old, this building. 641 square foot, one and den, $595. So $930 a square foot. And then you also have these buildings here, which are Tridal buildings as well. A little bit older, 25 Viking. I think we're like 15 years, 13 years old. You can see the finishes are a little outdated here. Anyways, 557 square foot, one bedroom, sold for $525, so $943 a foot. So that's what resale is going for in the area. Gives you an idea of comparative value on the resale market. Now, we know pre-construction is more expensive than resale. That is no secret. If you watch my videos, any of my other videos, you know that pre-construction is more expensive than resale. In the last year, anything we've seen launch along the subway has been, $1,250, $1,300 a square foot. Vaughan VMC is at $1,300 a square. Square One's at $1,300 a square. The Queensway is at $1,200, $1,150 a square foot. Downtown's at $1,500 a foot plus. So where do I think Westerly pricing is going to come in? I believe the pricing is going to come in somewhere around $1,100 a square foot. Again, I don't speak for the developer. Could come in more, could come in less. But that's about the price that I think it's going to come in. If it comes in between $1,100 and $1,150 a square, it is by far, the best value launch that we've seen this year. Just objectively speaking, priced relative to comparables and to other options on the subway line, there's nothing quite like that. Certainly not at that price. We're seeing projects in Kingston and in Barrie launch at $1,000 a foot. So never mind getting in at the subway, at a subway stop in Etobicoke for that same price. So if it does come in at that price point, it is going to be one of those overnight sellouts. You'll want to have your worksheet in really early. So if you want to do that, click the link in the description. I'll send you the draft pricing and floor plans as soon as they're available, and we'll get the ball rolling on that quickly. Now, if you watch my videos, you've probably seen me share this chart before. So this chart is just every launch that happened, or most of the launches that happened in Etobicoke from July of 2016 through June of 2020. And it's the day one sales, the platinum, VIP, pre-public, whatever. Day one sales price on a one bedroom per square foot. And you can kind of see that the prices only had one way. And that really does come down to the fact that land costs keep going up, development charges keep going up, and construction costs are inflating pretty rapidly as well. And that's part of the reason that no pre-construction projects seem to ever launch cheaper than the last one in the neighborhood. Now, Westerly may or may not be one of the very rare exceptions to that rule, but either way, if it comes in south of $1,200 a square foot on the subway line, it is going to be one of the best value launches we've seen in the last year or two. So I'm really excited about this specific launch. If you are an investor looking for, an affordable unit in the 500,000 or 600,000s that has good transit, this is going to be one of the few options you're going to see. I really don't think with any of these future launches in Etobicoke, you are going to see these prices again. So I would get in on this one. Final thing I'll do here, I'll just kind of show you the 3D rendering of Westerly 1 here. They've got a nice little, if it would load, there we go. So here is obviously Westerly number 1, and then you can see Westerly number 2 off to the side here. And I believe there's also a 3D site. There we go. Very cool. So the finishes, like I said, will probably be very similar, if not identical. So here is your kitchen. Let's go to a ensuite. Here is the bathroom. 9-foot smooth ceilings, all that good stuff. Floor to ceiling windows, you get the idea. So yeah, really nice finishes, Tridel standard. There you go. Really nice finishes on higher floors, nice views too, depending on exposure. But the big draw to this location is just value. There's going to be a lot of one bedrooms, in the around 500 square feet. Really good layouts, not a lot of wasted space from what I can see in the architectural plans. So this is going to be kind of my favorite value investment in Etobicoke for the time being. So if you want to get a unit, reach out to me sooner rather than later, and let's get the ball rolling. And you can click on the link in the description to stay up to date. So the moment we have draft plans and prices, you'll get them. Any changes to architectural plans, you'll see them. So sign up in the link in the description, and I will see you guys next video.